From the historic capital of open wheel racing, Indianapolis, Indiana, it's USAC Unleashed. And now, stumping the loud pedal, ripping the lip, and letting her eat, here are your hosts, Dirty Dan and the Photo Man.
Hey, USAC Unleashed racing supporters, USAC racing fans, and Performance Motorsports Network listeners. Here we are, episode number 12 of the USAC Unleashed radio show. We got somebody special in the studio. We're going to put her on the back burner real quick. Mr. Photo Man, Rich Foreman. What are you up to tonight, brother?
Oh, just hanging out here in the lab working on some photos.
In the lab, I love it. The crooked, twisted little Rich Foreman Photos lab, man. Pretty cool stuff. Bob Steele behind the boards. How you doing tonight, Marlboro Man?
Doing good, my friend. Calling Nathan already, so I'm on the phone.
Wow, you're on the ball. That's something new, man. And speaking of on the ball, the pictures we're going to put out of our guest host this week, that kind of fits the bill, don't it, Miss Krista Elyse?
All I heard was balls.
I knew that'd be all you'd hear, man. So we're going to talk to you in some depth. You got some pretty cool things going on this season.
Yeah, actually my big race is this weekend. So, yeah, good timing.
Yeah, it is good timing, isn't it? All right, like I said, we'll get more into depth about who you are, where you're from, and all the cool things you got going on later on in the show. We got a hell of a guest list this week. We're going to be telling a personal story with Mr. Nathan Moore here in a few minutes, as Bob has mentioned. And it's a pretty cool story, isn't it, Photo Man?
Yeah, it's a really neat deal, and I can't wait to get to share his story with everybody out there.
That's an honest fact there. We're going to talk about to another guest about 1,000 starts and in USAC and all kinds of cool stuff there. And we got somebody else on the show with us that's got some big news tonight also, don't we, Photo Man?
Yeah, I think you're pretty stoked on this guy, and I think everybody is, and definitely has a lot of really good things coming out, and definitely going to blow up, that's for sure.
That's a fact, man. The myth, the legend, Mr. Sean Buckley is going to be joining us from jackslash.com and the Dirty 30 Map TV shows. So that's going to be an interesting interview for sure. The racing this weekend, Rich. It was off the hook, man. Gas City, Hobstadt, two excellently prepared tracks. I know it was hard on race cars at Gas City, man, but it put on a damn good show for the fans.
Yeah, it was a little rough on some race cars. We tore some ones up. Robert Blue took a big one, pretty much destroyed that one. I know Logan Jarrett, he tore one up pretty bad too. But, there's definitely one thing you can't say is you left there with, not feeling like you got your money's worth. Qualifying was pretty phenomenal. Definitely.
We're going to be talking to the feature winner in his 999th start. Here in a few minutes on the show. I think he's our featured guest this week, so Tracy Hines. Then we went down to Hobstadt, and the modern-day cowboy, Darren Clayton, just does what he does there, Photo Man. I mean, he just dominated that race.
Yeah, Darren was in a whole nother zip code, and, when you put Darren Clayton on the pole in a good race car at Hobstadt, he's going to do to you like he did to everybody last Saturday night, and that was lap up to sixth place and just be in a totally different world.
That was a fact, man. I know in our interview with Brady Bacon, he said he had a straightaway plus a corners clear vision, no cars on the track. He had actually thought he won the race and that Darren had broke. Darren was so far out there on him. So, everybody kind of knew it, and you're right, man. You put Clayton in a strong car on the pole there. It's a pretty cool deal. All right, just a reminder, get over to www.usac-unleashedradioShow.com for all our archive shows that you can listen to at your own pleasure. Links to all our sponsors, including Performance Motorsports Network, Liquid Nitro, and we got some cool Liquid Nitro news that we'll bring up in the close. All you people asking where to get it, we're going to let you know where to get it. But for right now, man, we're going to go and we're going to hear some very cool words from a few sponsors. And when we come back on the USAC Unleashed radio show on Performance Motorsports Network, we'll be talking with Nathan Moore.
Ever wonder what keeps the USAC Unleashed radio team fired up besides their passion for racing? Crack open a can of the best tasting energy drink on earth, Liquid Nitro. Liquid Nitro products are infused with nothing but the finest ingredients, including 3 herbs and 2 B vitamins to give you the best quality energy drink your body can handle. Liquid Nitro Regular, Liquid Nitro Low Carb, and Liquid Nitro Tropical Storm energy drinks contain a blend of herbs and vitamins that produce clean energy without the crash or aftertaste and without the those harmful side effects. Also, check out their line of liquid nitro shooters, a 3-ounce exotic berry-flavored energy shot that tantalizes your taste buds. And hey guys, you might be interested in their liquid nitro fuel for passion. It's an all-natural energy shot with a proprietary blend that helps us men feel, well, more productive. Check out their Facebook page at Liquid Nitro Beverages Midwest or their website at nitrobeverages.com. Real energy, no bull. Liquid Nitro.
Hey racers, are you struggling with your shock package in your quarter midget, micro, midget, sprint, or super modified? Then check out Infinity Shock. Infinity Shocks has the latest available technology and is ahead of the market today with their Infinitune isolation piston. Give Infinity Shocks a call today at 765-865-1073 and tell AJ that you want to join racers like Shane Cottle, Frank Flood, Steven Shabester, Robert Ballou, Shane Cochran, and Thomas Mesrell in Victory Lane. Infinity Shocks, home of 300-plus A-Main wins in 2013, including 3 Golden Drillers from the Tulsa Shootout, the Donnie Ray Crawford Memorial, and the Oklahoma Micro Nationals, just to name a few. For personalized tech service, give AJ a call at Infinity Shocks at 765-865-1073. Don't be like the competition, be the competition. Infinity Shocks.
And now, back to the guy that would rather watch General Hospital than NASCAR, the Photo Man and Dirty Dan.
Anything got to be better than watching NASCAR, right, Dan?
Oh, I agree 100%, man.
Or
Fine
Dan
drivers for
Stafford.
fightings, but yet promo it, man.
Well, our first guest is another USAC Sprint Car Rookie of the Year this year on the show tonight. We got Nathan Moore. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, and you?
Good, man. And, you know, we're going to get into your story and everything like that. But first of all, let's tell everybody, you know, where you're from and all that.
Okay, I'm from Tyler, Texas. I'm 31. I've come up here to race wingless cars with the best in the country, but I started in wingless cars down in Texas, or in wing cars down in Texas.
Yeah, in the wing cars down there. And then last year, you know, this guy comes up from Texas, you know, on the open trailer and everything to run the Indiana Sprint Week. I mean, what was going through your head? What was the idea like, you know, hey, I want to go do that?
The long story short, man, we wanted to come up here for a couple of years, just never really had the money or the experience, no knowledge or anything like that. Literally didn't know, you know, that we were going to run into more problems coming here, and that the fields were so tough. But something we had planned on doing for a little while, and that's what we did.
And let's tell everybody, you know, you came up here and you know, you had it. I mean, guys like started catching on to this, like, you know, holy cow, look at this guy. He's all the way up here, you know, and he's doing it. And, you know, let's talk about your week, you know, as far as the racing goes. You know, what was some of the things that stood out in your mind about last year's, you know, Indiana Sprint Week?
I couldn't believe how many people understood what was going on, how many people enjoyed it. The fans absolutely loved it. You know, I couldn't believe that it was such a big deal, or what would come of it in the future, and that's where it leads me now. We never expected any of this.
And what was it like getting to some of these racetracks up there? I mean, how did they differ from what you were used to racing on down in Texas?
They have cushions here. We don't have cushions in Texas. What we call a cushion is not a cushion, nothing like it is here. You know, each track has its own unique characteristics about it. You have really nice tracks and you have really fun tracks, and then you have both. The depth of the talent is what surprises me the most. There's so many good cars.
Yeah, and you know, in the USAC series, we have a lot of good cars. And, you know, it's not only just the USAC series, though. Here in Indiana in general, you know, the racing competition is tough. We've talked about it with plenty of guys from California and whatnot and this and that. And, you know, coming from Texas, wing-based guy, you know, you raced Indiana Sprint Week, went home, and just decided, this is what I'm going to do.
It was a lot more fun than racing wing cars down in Texas. And down there, you're only going to get to a certain level. Up here, they race at a different level. So if you want to, you know, step up your game, this is definitely the place to come.
Yeah, for sure. And we do race so much up here and all that. And let's talk about what is it to head. What did you have to go through to go from Texas to here? Let's talk about some of the things you went through. Kind of just deciding to move up here and some of the things you've had to go through.
I had a great job in Texas, so that's number one. I had to, really quit work. That's something I went back. They knew in July that I was leaving at the first of the year. I had planned this. It's not something that just came up out of the blue in the first of this year. Having a house and assets, you have to get rid of all that stuff. And packed up what I could, what little money I had, sold a truck, bought a cheap truck to come up here with, took every bit of money I could, and came up here and using it on a budget. So.
And you're doing what you love to do, and getting to see a lot of racetracks. And I know we talked about at Hobstadt, after going to Eldora and stuff like that. And so we're into the season now, and let's talk about how's your season going for you so far now that you're actually up here and doing what you want to do.
Man, I run a different motor than anybody else does. I run a different car than anybody else does. Pretty much everything I do is different. It always has been because of the budget. But so it's hard to learn, and we've struggled with that a little bit. It's really started to turn around Eldora. The car finally started to run, but going to a track that big and that many people, just it's tough. It's nerve-wracking. So the tracks are awesome. The people are awesome.
You've been getting a lot of help. I noticed you've been hanging out there with Shane Wade and that Amati connection. Let's talk about some of the guys that are kind of helping you get rolling in the right direction, because you're doing this and here and all that, and you definitely are going to need some help from some guys that have been around for a while.
Oh, of course. The thing that I'm learning recently is that I really didn't know anything about racing. They take it differently here. They race on another level, so having them guys around actually makes everything a lot easier. The transition's a lot easier for me. The Amati group is really a stout team. Shane Wade's awesome. He invited me here to let me come to his shop and, able to share knowledge with me. Shane Cochran is an awesome person. He's a really good driver, and he knows his stuff. He helps a lot.
And, Nathan, we're really looking forward to a lot of things. You definitely have a really bright future coming up this year. Going to be fun watching you race. I know the fans are definitely interested in keeping up with you, and we're going to definitely check back in with you. But let's let you give a shout out to your sponsors and anybody else out there that helps you.
And I've got to thank Shane Wade and Shane Cochran first before anybody. My father, who stands behind me. My mother, she does everything she can. All my family back home, all my friends, all the people that are there supporting me and helping me. I have to thank Shirai Batteries for all the help they've done. Ultra Shield seats, best seat on the market. I've got to thank Momentum Shocks. Brad Bennick has been a huge help. I've got to thank Garage Door Stuff. That gentleman came on board Friday at Gas City to help out. There's so many people. I don't know who else to thank. Jarrett, Jeff, they help with the car here locally.
Yeah, for sure. And folks, get out there, meet up with Nathan. He's a good dude. He's doing what he loves to do. He's here in Indiana. He's racing. Which actually, we're going to take off and head out there to Nebraska here soon. Are you going out there, Nathan?
I sure am.
So make sure you get out there and check this guy out and talk with him and kick him some money, support him, do whatever you got to do. Let's keep him around, keep him racing. Nathan, we look forward to seeing you down the road, buddy.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And that was Nathan Moore, and we'll be right back with more on USAC Unleashed radio show on the Performance Motorsports Network.
Walker Racing Promotions is a public relations team determined to grow and expand your name in the world of racing while guiding your image and car to the top. We use multiple different techniques from press releases, social media pages, and websites to boom your team or company ahead of the rest. Whether it be your normal race team wanting a sponsorship proposal or full-blown touring series needing PR help, Walker Racing Promotions can cover it all. Head to WalkerRacingPromotion.com to learn more on how you can expand your PR program with Walker Racing Promotions.
Hey racers, are you looking for an edge in your training program to put you over the top? Well, check out Racer's Edge Supplements. Racer's Edge Supplements are the best racing supplements in the business. Whether you need more energy to get you through your day, better concentration, or a weight loss supplement that will help you get lighter and go faster, Racer's Edge Supplements is what you need. With 9 products currently available and more on the way, Racer's Edge Supplements will be all you need to get you through your season. Visit us online at racersedgesupplements.com. That's racersedgesupplements.com. Racer's Edge Supplements, the edge you need to get you to victory lane.
And now, back to the guy who loves Swedish massages and women named Helga. I don't want to know anything about that one. Dirty Dan and the Photo Man.
Is it any mistake that we have Krista Elyse, who put out a Helga-type picture last week in the studio with us, Photo Man?
It does seem like it fits kind of well.
I think my girl's named Heidi, though. I have to tell you.
All right, we're going to start calling you Heidi, Krista. All right, let's move on to this next guest, man. I'm pretty fired up to talk to him, man. We've been learning a lot about each other the last 3 or 4 weeks, but Mr. JackSlash.com himself, Sean Buckley's on the phone with us. How you doing tonight, Sean?
I'm doing good. What's up, guys?
Not much, man. Just hanging out here with Krista. Have you seen pictures of her yet?
No. Oh, you mean Heidi?
Yeah, Heidi, there you go. There you go. I have to get you some of those sent to you, Buckley. You'll appreciate those. But anyway, man, tell us what you're up to tonight, brother.
Well, I'm just taking a little break here from working and watching some baseball on TV, so just doing a little relaxing right now.
It was a busy weekend. You need to relax, man. We run into each other at Gas City and Hobstadt, and speaking of, I believe one of those is going to be the first episode for the Dirty 30 coming out in about June or so, isn't it?
Yeah, man. We got our TV show launching here in June on MAV TV, and we were at Tri-State Speedway there at Hobstadt for the USAC sprint car race taping there. So, yeah, man, pretty fired up for everything.
I can't wait for those to start airing. That's a fact. But let's jump back, man. Let's talk about you personally. I don't think a lot of people know a lot of things about your history and how you got started and everything. Where are you originally from, Sean?
I was born and raised in Ventura County, California, about 45 miles north of Los Angeles on the coast there. So I'm a beach kid. I grew up, skateboarding and surfing and all that stuff.
with that big blue hat and the Dodger D on it, right?
Oh yeah. I grew up a Dodgers fan for sure, and traded it all in for a lot of corn and a lot of racing.
There you go. When did you get started, Sean? I know you got started at a pretty young age. Can you tell us a little bit about when you got started and the whys and the hows of how you got into doing what you're doing these days?
Oh yeah, man. I was born into it. I'm like a 3rd or 4th generation, racer family, whatever. We go all the way back to the 20s and 30s. I had a great uncle or something like that used to race midgets in the 30s, and he was actually killed in a midget. His name was Stubby Porter. And then my grandfather raced. My grandfather George Buckley, he raced midgets and jalopies in the 40s and 50s, and he was also a car owner. And then my father raced TQ midgets, and then I raced sprint cars for a minute, and then my brother has raced sprint cars on and off now for about 10 years, and I kind of got the TV and video bug when I was probably, 13, 14 years old, and the family, we had won a old Magnavox VHS video camera a long time ago, and that's kind of where I got the bug, and where I really got it was at Ventura when the Thunder series would come through. The ESPN Midget Thunder series would come through there in the late 80s, early 90s, and I would literally get done with Little League on Saturdays and get to the track early just so I could watch Despain and Larry Rice and Gary Lee and do their pre-production stuff and live on the air stuff. And that's where I think I found my love for it, man, was the TV stuff and the racing stuff. And I always thought, going to school, if I could ever combine the two, what a great life it would be. So we're still trying to get there and live that life.
Now, you mentioned something there in your answer. You mentioned jalopies, and I don't think a lot of people these days know what kind of racing you're talking about there. I remember it. I know what you're talking about, but explain what a jalopy is.
Well, basically, I mean, obviously, I was never around. I was never born when jalopies were in their heyday. But jalopy racing, as far as Southern California was concerned, was very popular, and it was just your basic old, 30 sedans and coupes converted into. It was basically your 1930s and 40s style. What would be today is your street stock, your cars that you would see. Your hobby stocks, thunder car types of cars. And these were, if you can imagine, the younger group, if you can imagine what a Legends car, a dwarf car looks like, well, just imagine it full size with a flathead Ford or an old Chevy under the hood. And these old guys would get out there and race. They'd race in Balboa Stadium there in Southern California and all sorts of places. And they would actually televise them on KTLA 5 and, a lot of, Southern California's greatest racers came through the jalopy range. Guys like TRA champions, like Bob Hogle and Billy Wilkerson, guys that, are still around and aren't still around. So it's got a long history there, especially where I come from.
Now let's talk about a little bit about that. I kind of miss those days, and when you call a race car a jalopy and things like that. We don't have that today. What's some of the biggest differences that you've seen? You mentioned Despain and Larry Rice and the old Thursday Night Thunder. Well, it used to be Thursday Night Thunder, but the Night Thunder stuff. What's some of the biggest changes that you've seen, since the time you got started to where you're at today in racing in general and the whole social media aspect of what both you and I are both trying to do in different genres, but what are some of those differences?
Well, I think the biggest difference is, right off the top is the race cars, and the drivers. When I was a little kid, we had, growing up in Southern California, there wasn't 360 sprint cars. There wasn't sprint car schools. There wasn't, arrive and drive deals. There wasn't development deals. If you wanted to race a sprint car, you had to go to Ascot with CRA and race with Ron Schumann. You had to race with all the best guys, and you had to fight it out and run the consi and run about 30 or 40 consis before you actually got to run a heat race. So you really had to work for it. There was no provisionals. So, you really had to, really get in there and roll up your sleeves and race and take your bumps and keep coming back for more. And then, in the midget deal back in the 80s, and it seemed, even in the early 90s, it seemed like they were grown men racing midgets. It wasn't the new hot 16-year-old, on his way up to the NASCAR series. It was dudes that were there to race, that were dedicated, that owned a body shop or owned a muffler shop, that had made enough money to go midget racing. And I think that's some of the biggest differences that I see today. Not that today's any worse or any better. It's just, those are the differences that I've seen. And as far as the media is concerned, the internet has completely changed the sport. Some good, some bad. But I think if you utilize the internet properly, especially social media, you could do the sport a lot of good, not only for yourself, but for the sport, the tracks, the drivers, and the whole scene as a whole.
And I think I've talked a lot about this off the record, and I agree with you. Social media nowadays, I think, is one of the areas that it's a double-edged sword. There's a lot of positives that can come out of it, as you said. Not only for yourself, but for the exact reasons that you and I do this, and it's to promote the racing and the racers and the things going on. But what do you see as some of our biggest challenges from a media perspective moving forward in the future with the way technology just keeps it progressing?
I think the biggest challenge right now we face is convincing this older generation of promoters that social media, video, live feeds, live audio are something that can help them, not hurt them. And that's something that, I've personally been fighting for a while, and, some tracks get it, some don't. Do we have to do live events at every single race? No. But I just think that somewhere down the road we do need to have some open meetings in the off-season and just get some of these promoters to understand, because, me personally, I run a business. I know the economics of the sport. I know what it takes to continue to do what we do, to fund what we need to do to promote not only ourselves but the sport. But, I just think that's number one, is trying to convince the promoters and really turn this industry around. Obviously there's a lot of changes being made socially in the world and, with internet and just the way we do things as a society. And I think, this transforms into the racing scene as well. We have to make adjustments, and we have to make small changes to better our sport, better ourselves, so we can, sustain this business. Racing is a lot more than just opening the gates on a Saturday and praying you get 1,000 people paid to the front gate.
That it is. You've hit the nail on the head there in trying to convince some of these guys. I mean, social media, there's so much information available, to people out there. And I get the argument from the promoters and things like that, but there's a lot of misinformation out there too. And, we fight that on a daily basis. But tell me a little bit about what's going on with jackslash.com, USAC, and Dirty 30 on MAV TV this season, Sean.
Well, the jackslash.com deal is actually going really well. We decided to quit giving all of our video away about 4 years ago and started getting really serious about it. And we basically kind of saw where certain things are headed. We figured that, doing an on-demand type of situation like a Netflix for sprint cars and midgets was the right move, not only for us, but to kind of, not necessarily to change the industry, but just to kind of do what was right for us and formulate a business plan and go from there. And that's worked out really well, and as far as as the television show is concerned, we're just pumped, man. I mean, it's an incredible opportunity that MAV TV has given us. We signed the deal literally in 3 or 4 days last year. I mean, it was something where an email had happened, and Sure sent us an email, and then, we sent them a little reel, and they were like, great. And we were lucky enough to have somebody there on the inside that we had worked for before, and they put in a good word for us. And luckily, we did the 26 shows that we did last year. They liked, and that was cool. And we were lucky enough to get another 30 shows this year. So, it's a lot of work. And I was telling somebody earlier, you really got to be careful what you wish for, because sometimes it can be a little bit you can get overloaded, but I wouldn't really have it any other way. I'd much rather be more busy than not having enough work.
Now, you mentioned that being careful what you wish for and being overloaded. And I know that people think that you're connected with MAV TV and that there's some big budget here and lots of money flowing around. And actually, that's 180 degrees from the truth. You've got helpers, but tell us a little bit about how you make this stuff happen, Sean.
Yeah, well, basically, we kind of, when they wrote us the check for the first $10 million, we kind of blew through that pretty quick. And then,
oh, Lord.
Yeah, but seriously, yeah, I mean, we sold the idea on this show that we can bring viewership to their network, because they're a newer network, so we can, bring new viewers, bring new eyeballs to their network, with a show that's not going to cost them or us a lot of money. And over time, it's worked out that way. It doesn't cost them any money. It doesn't cost us a whole lot of money to do it. And we get to promote ourselves, the sport, the drivers, the owners, the tracks, our entire scene, not only here in Indiana, but the Power I midgets that we're doing. We're doing the King of the West sprint cars with the wings, in Northern California. We're doing USAC. We're doing the local Indiana scene. So we really get to tap in and make a lot of people happy and not really go broke doing it.
Right. Now, Sean, tell us a little bit, how do people, tell us a little bit about Jackslash. How do people find that, and subscribe to that? And we obviously know the MAV TV things, but what's some contact information to watch this content?
Well, the Jackslash site's very simple. Jackslash.com, you log on. We offer it for $60. I think it's $59.95 for an entire season. And just to kind of give you a little bit of perspective on, the cost of that is, there's a lot of video guys across the country that offer, a night's worth of racing for $20 on a DVD. Well, if you imagine, you're a grandparent, an uncle, a father, a mother, whoever, and you can't see your son or daughter race here in Indiana, you can go online, get on our website, and for the price, less than the price of 3 DVDs from a regular video guy or whoever, you can watch an entire season of racing all over the world, even with our New Zealand midget stuff. And we feel it's a great bargain, and we get people from all over the world that are subscribers to it, and it's all HD video, and you can watch it on your iPad, your iPhone, your Android device. I mean, your PC, your MacBook, just about any device you got. So we feel like we're heading in the right direction. We actually had a company out of Vegas retool our website in the off season, and we're really happy with the way things are going.
I think there's a lot of people happy with the way things are going. And Sean, I know you and I've talked, and you've agreed to come on and talk to us, once a month or so, and give us an update about what's going on and what you got going on. I really appreciate you making time out of your busy schedule to talk to us tonight, and I can't wait to see you again at the track pretty soon, buddy.
Yeah, man, it's fun to be on. I appreciate it, and I always really try to support people that are hustling out there and trying to make some cool stuff happen. And with you guys doing the show and the things you guys are doing online, it's all positive stuff. And it's all hard work. It's a lot of long nights. People, it's funny. I mean, I come from, like a lot of families, I come from a blue collar style family. And even when I was a little kid, I mean, even out of high school, I tried to do the construction thing. I tried to do all the blue-collar style stuff, and while my brother and my dad are out there doing concrete and construction type work, I'm inside on the computer doing this and that, and the blue-collar side will never really understand the amount of mental and physical work that the media really does, but it is a lot of work, and like I said, I wouldn't change it. You guys are doing a good job, and just keep on keeping on.
I agree, Sean, and we'll see you hopefully somewhere this weekend. But it's been a pleasure talking with you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, and we'll be at Bloomington Friday for the Kiss Show, and Sunday at Kokomo for the Kiss Show, and both of those will be taped for the Dirty 30 show on MAV TV.
Well, there you have it, Mr. Sean Buckley from jackslash.com, the Dirty 30 on MAV TV, and when we come right back after these messages, we'll be speaking with Tracy Hines.
Ever wonder what keeps the USAC Unleashed radio team fired up besides their passion for racing? Crack open a can of the best tasting energy drink on earth, Liquid Nitro. Liquid Nitro products are infused with nothing but the finest ingredients, including 3 herbs and 2 B vitamins to give you the best quality energy drink your body can handle. Liquid Nitro Regular, Liquid Nitro Low Carb, and Liquid Nitro Tropical Storm energy drinks contain a blend of herbs and vitamins that produce clean energy without the crash or aftertaste and without those harmful side effects. Also, check out their line of Liquid Nitro Shooters, a 3-ounce exotic berry-flavored energy shot that tantalizes your taste buds. And hey guys, you might be interested in their Liquid Nitro Fuel for Passion. It's an all-natural energy shot with a proprietary blend that helps us men feel, well, more productive. Check out their Facebook page at Liquid Nitro Beverages Midwest or their website at nitrobeverages.com. Real energy, no bull. Liquid Nitro.
6B Apparel gives you the winning look. At 6B Apparel, our award-winning design team gives your team style on or off the track. It's not too late to call 6B Apparel now. You could be the best-dressed crew at your next race or trade show. And for you smaller teams, 6B Apparel has no minimum on orders, so you can get the same look the big teams like Feld Motorsports, Lucas Oil Products, and more do at a great price. Call 6B Apparel now at 702-587-3313. That's 702-587-3313. Or log on to 6bapparel.com.
And now, back to the 2 guys that think the 3 most important aspects of covering the race are barbecue, beer, and broads. It's Dirty Dan and the Photo Man.
That's the most 3 important things. But we have a guest with us on the phone that, I mean, he's making history every race right now. Mr. Tracy Hines, how you doing tonight, brother?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
Doing all right. I don't even know where to start, Tracy. It's been your career in USAC, 1,000 starts. You picked up the W at Gas City Friday night in your 999th start. Tell us a little bit about how your careers went and some of the things that you've seen differently from start number 1 to start number 1,000.
Well, I don't crash as much. When I first started, I crashed about every week. So I might have had a lot of starts, but not a lot of finishes. And, just from, going from starting off driving my dad's car for a few races to owning my own team and trying to secure sponsorship every week to keep it going, it's definitely been ever evolving. And then, of course, we spent 3 years chasing the NASCAR dream and decided that when we came back in 2006 that this is where we were going to finish out the career and hopefully change the team into either, hopefully securing sponsorship and hiring a driver or maybe a driver with sponsorship and carry it on from there.
Now, Tracy, in the scheme of things, you're probably the biggest driver out there that runs his own team. And what are some of the challenges you kind of face as being a guy on your level and owning your own stuff?
Well, contrary to popular belief, I don't come from, as Sean said earlier, definitely blue collar family, median income, and so we've just kind of had to do it the old-fashioned way, to where we can buy something maybe a little used and stretch it a little longer, and get lots of help from different sponsors across the country that help us with little pieces that all add up to a big race car at the end of the day.
And you guys do, you don't have, like you said, I know you've had some guys helping you out in the past and stuff like that, but you do put a lot of work into it, and I do remember, you saying you have collected those pieces on and on and on, and as you put them together, your stuff's getting better, and it definitely seems to be like maybe this year it's actually starting to pick back up again for you, picking up a win, and you've looked strong, every race this year.
Yeah, it's definitely helped. We were able to get a good sponsor this year with the Carolina Nut Company, and with that, it's able me to hire a helper in the shop, because we also, not just with our sprint car teams, but we also are part owners of the midget team, which I call my part the sweat equity, but Bob Parker's gracious enough to say I'm 50-50 on that. And so we take care of that. And then the Silver Crown team, Mark Lightfoot owns everything, but the pavement car stays at our shop, and we do everything to it and basically show up at the track with it ready to go race. So, we have 8 cars in here that's our responsibility to take care of every week. And with the Carolina Nut coming on board, it just allowed us to hire somebody to help me do that. To where my wife didn't have to be the sole and only helper that I had.
And that kind of led me to a thing I was thinking about this week is with sponsorships. You hear a lot of guys out there, I can't get sponsors. But, you got, a big sponsor. We've seen that, other guys are getting sponsors that what I call outside the box, be it vapor companies or whatever. How hard is it nowadays to get a sponsor, and how much out of the box do you kind of have to think to go out to get those sponsors?
Well, there would be a little stretch to say that we went out and secured something out of racing. Truth be known, that Carolina Nut Company was also part of Thur Sport Racing, which was the truck team that I drove for 2 years, that I still drive for off and on. I drove for at El Thor last year, so it was an easy transition for them to, want to be part of Tracy Hines Racing. We kind of call it we're the cousins of Thor Sport Racing, the truck team, because it's still all the same guys that were there, and plus, they've added other teams, and so it was an easy transition for them for us to talk to them and them to want to be part of our team.
And sponsorship is so important, like you said, for us at our level to be able to afford to do the things, like you said, afforded you to be able to get another sponsor or another guy in the shop. And, this year is going well, and what are some of your goals that you kind of have for this year?
Well, I had some goals, just basically simple with the sprint car division, was to get our short track program up to snuff. I felt like that was our Achilles heel. We've always been fast, Eldora, Terre Haute, all the half miles. We've always been good there. Our short tracks have been really inconsistent, and it showed again this week. We still haven't fixed everything. We won one night and ran 14th the next. So, I felt like, and my wife yelled at me quite a bit on the way home, just saying, I got to start trusting my instincts. And I felt like I knew the direction that Hobstadt was going to go, and I didn't listen to my instincts, and it bit me. I should have done what I was thinking, and I don't think we had anything for Clayton by no means, but could we have been a 7th or 8th place car? Possibly.
Yeah, and you did show that you definitely had some stuff figured out at Gas City. I remember you saying that's not a track that you don't normally like, and you definitely had to show some patience there, and I think definitely shows that the experience does pay off. And let's talk about like for anybody who doesn't know, your run on Friday night. Let's talk about that some. How did you get to pick up the win?
Yeah, Gas City is, regardless of the new owners, it's always been wait till you show up to see what kind of track you're going to get, and it can change 3 times during that night. They'll go cut it, they'll start it off dry, start it off wet. I mean, it is ever evolving. So, and even that feature was ever evolving. I did have in my mind that I felt like I would be at the bottom at some time during that race because I just felt like the way that curb was, I wouldn't even call it a cushion. It was a curb to me because it wasn't moving. It never moved all night. It stayed there, so I felt like it was going to be slick below it because it was never getting higher. And true enough, that's what happened. But through the race, I had to run the cushion or the curve in 3 and 4, the middle to bottom in 1 and 2, then the middle, and it just kind of all shifted around. And sometimes you're more fortunate probably to be not leading. We were in 5th at the time I started making my move, and it was a thing where I had to try something because I felt like I was a little better than the guy in front of me running the groove I was, but not good enough to just drive by him. So I had to go somewhere different, and sure enough, since I had already pre-thought to set up for the bottom, it kind of worked out really nice.
Now, I'm going to ask you, does it play, to a guy like you who has a lot of experience? Because I think that's kind of what I saw was, you were pretty good, and then all of a sudden you turned it on the bottom, and it looked like you were in a drag car as fast as it took off the corner. Is that something where when you go to make that move, you need to make it in a hurry because you don't want to show that guy that move too soon and get him to, come down there and cut you off?
Yeah, especially, I believe, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, or maybe 4th. I know Scotty Weir, Cottle, and Clausen are all good bottom runners there. So when I went by those guys, I knew I had to do it quick because as soon as they saw me, especially Shane leading, I figured he would have beat me down there by the backstretch. And I think I actually did talk to him. It shocked him so quick that he went and actually missed the corner even on the top because he just didn't realize that it would come in that quick.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I thought. I thought for sure, he's got to hurry up and get by him because Shane's definitely going to try to come down there and take that line away. But you're able to pull it off and pick up win 46, which ties you with Jack Hewitt, and gets you up there. There's a lot of talk of this, Dave and the record and all that, but you're not that far away from it either. And, with the way that things are going, you could possibly get up there and take that record this year.
Yeah, 2 years ago it was a talk of me getting it and Dave behind me. I think he was 3 behind me. And, man, he's had a really good last year and even the start to this year. So, that was part of us having to step up our game, not just obviously for our sponsors and for the, potential championships, but, just going neck and neck with him. Knock on wood, I'm about 6 years younger than Dave, so that's going to help quite a bit, but I don't see him ever stopping. I don't think Brenda will ever let him stop working on the racetrack. So I'll just, I might concede someday because I've had a little more physical damage over the years, and my body feels a lot worse than 41.
And, you two guys are definitely probably the biggest things in the sport right now. And obviously, we got some guys coming along and stuff like that. You and Dave, are going to battle out. And either way, one of you two guys are going to take this record. But do you see, like some younger guy being able to come up and take that one? This thing stood for so long. Is there a chance that, you guys could get it and have it forever? Or is it somebody else going to come along and maybe try to break it after that?
No, I think it's gotten a lot harder to move on. And that probably is in the past is what kept some of the guys that had won a lot of races from continuing to win these races, that they actually moved on and went to NASCAR or upper division. So obviously probably one of the first ones to look at would be Brian Clausen. I think he's got a lot of wins, and he's had a shot. I don't know if he's going to get any more shots, but if he doesn't, I could see him staying around and being able to break it, especially with the funding and the team that they've got set up, if he could be there for a while.
Yeah, and then Tracy, obviously we're looking forward to, Nebraska this week. Is there any thoughts kind of heading out there this week and kind of what you're thinking as far as the racing out there?
Yeah, I don't think there'll be a lot of guys travel with us, but that's, kind of notorious in any point series that travels. you never have, the full 22 cars that start the race. You never, from Outlaws to anybody, you'll never have week in and week out guys travel that far. I think we'll have a decent enough guys, and the guys that we will have, if we have 14 or 15, they'll all be ready to win the race. Hopefully we can bring some local guys in to finish it out. And, I'm excited. I've won in the midget quite a few times at Lincoln. I've ran at McCool. I like that track. I don't know how it's going to stand up to sprint cars, but I'm excited. I'm pretty torn right now on what car I want to bring. I have two different cars that I run, and I just can't decide. They're both different. They're quite a bit different, actually, and I just can't decide at Lincoln what I want, or at Eagle what I want to do yet. So basically waiting till we get there and look outside at the track, and then we'll decide.
Well, I'm sure whichever car you do break out, you're going to be quick in, Tracy. And we've had a lot of fun having you on, and definitely looking forward to seeing you out there. But before we go, let's get your sponsors out there and any contact information for the people.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just the Carolina Nut Company, of course, for our sprint car team. We also have associate sponsors that help us out: Turbines Incorporated, Gary Stanton at Stanton Engines, Hanson's Welding, and Parker Machinery. Elliott Custom Trailers also is part of our whole race team. So, we have a lot of good people involved, and as long as we can keep plugging away, I know my wife works hard on the website, so we have TracyHinesRacing.com. And, as hopefully when the fans get to the tracks, when we get to travel, if they can just help out most of the drivers and getting some T-shirts off of them. Prices are cheap, and it goes a long way according to what we do for a living.
For sure. And everybody go out and check out Tracy, meet up with him at the track, pick up a T-shirt, talk to him. Tracy, thanks for being on. We'll see you in Nebraska here in a few days.
All right. Sounds good, guys.
All right, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Waka Racing Promotions is a public relations team determined to grow and expand your name in the world of racing while guiding your image and car to the top. We use multiple different techniques from press releases, social media pages, and websites to boom your team or company ahead of the rest. Whether it be your normal race team wanting a sponsorship proposal or full-blown touring series needing PR help, Waka Racing Promotions can cover it all. Head to WalkerRacingPromotion.com to learn more on how you can expand your PR program with Walker Racing Promotions.
Hey racers, you know the amount of time and effort you put in at the shop getting your bullet ready to do battle is huge. Shouldn't the way you look when you climb out of that sick-looking ride in victory lane be just as important? Well, hell yeah, it should. Turn Noah Shell Shock Custom Helmet Painting loose on a custom lid designed just for you. Join the Shell Shock list of racers like Ryan Briscoe, Joey Saldana, Christopher Bell, Matt Crafton, Bud Kading, Dominic Selzy, Kenny Rutz, Spud Allen, Joey Coulter, and many, many more. Go to www.shellshockpaint.com or give them a call at 704-929-8545 and join the Shell Shock list of champions today. Follow Shell Shock on Twitter at Shell Shock Co. and be sure to check out the full Shell Shock gallery on Facebook at Shell Shock. And remember, only the best wear the SS.
And now, back to the guy that thinks he's a one-man snake pit, Dirty Dan and the Photo Man.
That was a good re-entry for who we're getting ready to talk to, Photo Man.
Yeah, that kind of fits in real good here with Krista.
That it does. Miss Krista Elyse, you've been pretty quiet tonight.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. We're talking dirt track racing, snake pits, and balls.
Right. Welcome to the dirt world, girl. All right, let's just treat this as a little bit of an interview. Let's back up a little bit. Tell everybody who you are and where you're from and what it is you do, Krista.
So originally, I started out in the modeling world years ago, and I still do a lot of promotional modeling for major aftermarket, mostly Ford, Mustang, drag racing companies. But I got heavily into the media end of it, and I'm actually a drag racer myself. I race the NMRA series, so we're paid.
Yeah. Well, the drag racers, they can only go hard for about 10 seconds, So, the dirt world's a little different.
That's what she said.
There you go. All right, now you've actually got some pretty cool stuff that you promote with your racing and your modeling and things. Tell us a little bit about the True Blue project.
So I guess it's for autism, and I found out a couple of years ago that my nephew was diagnosed with autism, which, I mean, it's getting more prevalent, but it still needs a lot more attention than it has been getting. So, I'm like, hey, it hits really close to home. He's one of my only nephews, my only sibling, and I really wanted to do something to help out and, not just raise money, but raise awareness, especially through the motorsports industry, because, yeah, I mean, that motorsports has a huge voice when it comes to the media. So, I figured I would use my racing career and the publicity that, I was so fortunate to garner over the last, 7 years and see what we can do with that. So this weekend we have a bunch of the biggest NMRA drag racers, in the sport racing for autism awareness.
And you're going to be doing some at that show up there. You're going to have your car up there, and of course, doing what you normally do up there. But you're also going to be you'll have some product with you from Liquid Nitro. You want to tell us a little bit about that and let the people who follow you know what you got going on that angle?
Yeah, actually, sure. I'm excited about this because I'm from Jersey, so we've never had this out here, and I mean, I'm constantly on the go. So I need everything I can get. Liquid Nitro has actually hooked me up. And, I'm going to be giving out some samples of Liquid Nitro, and they're really supporting my racing this weekend, and I'm really excited. So, come find me at Maryland International Raceway. It's, it's in Southern Maryland. It's literally right down the road. It's a good old, redneck fun time. I mean, it's out in the middle of nowhere, but it's a really well-kept track. And, we'll give out some stickers for autism, got some posters, and got tons of Liquid Nitro.
Now you've actually got a page where you're doing a walk for the autism deal. What's the information on that? How people can go sponsor and help and things like that with what you got going on there?
If you want to support us directly, you can actually go to Walk Now for Autism Speak /Baltimore/True Blue is our personal team page, and you can make a donation straight there. I mean, you can also get information. I'm constantly updating. Racers are helping me out on Facebook at /Krista Elyse. So, I mean, there's plenty of ways, but you can keep track on, what we're doing and some of the new things we're getting into to kind of push the cause.
Now, you mentioned that everybody knows you're a model. Everybody that follows Krista Elyse, we've seen the pictures and we hear the stories and things like that. But you're making a big push right now to move more into to make the media part of you a more dominant in your daily activities, I guess, for a lack of a better word or term. But tell us some of the things that you've got going on. I know you're going to be writing articles for AFX magazine nowadays.
Sure. So, I've taken up a full-time writer's position for AFX magazine, and they're more into the custom auto scene. They cover racing, custom shows. I mean, anything that's going on actually across the world, not just in the country. I started out in the modeling, but having, pre-med degree, being educated and, having my family push education my entire life, I've really been interested in the writing, photography, in the media world. So, we have our own Heels on Wheels radio show on Performance Motorsports Network, so I also do that. But I got something coming up, actually. We are going to be filming a show for Velocity Channel, Ultimate Tuner Challenge. So my car is going to be on there, and, hopefully that'll afford me some opportunities to interact with, some of the people that I've looked up to my entire life in the media world.
The Heels on Wheels radio program. We're not even going to talk about the pink tutu and crown you made me wear when I came on that show with you and Taylor. But
talk about so many things.
Yeah. So tell us the contact info, Krista. How do people follow you and get information about what you got going on?
So you can follow my racing since it's getting more prevalent, and I'm actually racing with the big boys this weekend at facebook.com/Krista Elyse. That's ELYSE. KristaElyse.com. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, everything at Krista Elyse, and also go to our Walk for Autism Speak page to keep tabs on what's going on. And I promise not to break my car again this weekend.
There you go. All right, Krista, we look forward to hanging out with you with the USAC Unleashed radio show during the USAC Eastern Storm swing here at the first week of June. So we're gonna pop that dirt racing cherry for you.
I am excited. I cannot even tell you. I mean, I can walk there, do my interviews, take in some dirt racing, and get drunk and walk the hell home.
There you go. There you go. All right. Check out everything Krista Elyse has got going on. I promise you it will be visually good for you guys out there, but she's got a lot of cool stuff going on. And we're going to be right back with some more USAC Unleashed Radio on the Performance Motorsports Network right after this.
Ever wonder what keeps the USAC Unleashed radio team fired up besides their passion for racing? Crack open a can of the best tasting energy drink on earth, Liquid Nitro. Liquid Nitro products are infused with nothing but the finest ingredients, including 3 herbs and 2 B vitamins to give you the best quality energy drink your body can handle. Liquid Nitro Regular, Liquid Nitro Low Carb, and Liquid Nitro Tropical Storm energy drinks contain a blend of herbs and vitamins that produce clean energy without the crash or aftertaste and without those harmful side effects. Also, check out their line of Liquid Nitro Shooters, a 3-ounce exotic berry-flavored energy shot that tantalizes your taste buds. And hey guys, you might be interested in their Liquid Nitro Fuel for Passion. It's an all-natural energy shot with a proprietary blend that helps us men feel, well, more productive. Check out their Facebook page at Liquid Nitro Beverages Midwest or their website at nitrobeverages.com. Real energy, no bull, Liquid Nitro.
On the air, you may know me as the man about motorsports. Actually, I've been the man about insurance for over 30 years. With one call, I can cover your life, health, auto, home, and business insurance. Recently, I saved a young couple over $500 on their annual car insurance bill. No gimmicks and no green lizard. So if you think your insurer is really your good neighbor who is on your side because he is holding your money in his good hands, think again. Call me, 703-631-8000. I have dozens of insurance companies waiting to give you the protection you need and deserve. It may take more than 15 minutes, but you'll receive sound advice, quality professional service, and an honest opinion. That number again, 703-631-8000. Ask for Larry O.
Hey racers, are you struggling with your shock package in your quarter midget, micro, midget, sprint, or super modified? Then check out Infinity Shock. Infinity Shocks has the latest available technology and is ahead of the market today with their Infinitune isolation piston. Give Infinity Shocks a call today at 765-865-1073 and tell AJ that you want to join racers like Shane Cottle, Frank Flood, Steven Shabester, Robert Ballou, Shane Cochran, and Thomas Mesereau in Victory Lane. Infinity Shocks, home of 300-plus A-Main wins in 2013, including 3 Golden Drillers from the Tulsa Shootout, the Donnie Ray Crawford Memorial, and the Oklahoma Micro Nationals, just to name a few. For personalized tech service, give AJ a call at Infinity Shocks at 765-865-1073. Don't be like the competition. Be the competition. Infinity Shocks.
And now, back to the guy that got thrown out of the track for hiring topless dancers to dance on the starter stand mid-race. And that caused a 30-car big one. It's Dirty Dan and the Photo Man.
Krista might be second guessing coming to Eastern Storm, Photo Man.
Yeah, she gets to hanging out with you. That would definitely scare her off.
Right.
Nothing on me.
There you go. All right. Well, that was another hour, man. I cannot believe that we've flown through that hour. We had some awesome guests this week. Nathan Moore, my buddy Sean Buckley from jackslash.com. You guys are going to be hearing more about him, from him on the show as the season progresses. He's going to be a regular guest on here from time to time. Krista Elyse was with us. Tracy Hines, man. Rich, 1,000 USAC starts. Picked up a win on the 999th start. Tied Jack Hewitt with 46. Him and Darlin are going to be battling out for that record this year, brother.
Yeah, it was really fun to have Tracy on. Definitely him and Dave are the two patriarchs of the sport and definitely still show that they can get it done on a weekly basis.
That is a fact. Hey, here's some news, guys. You guys can get go to www.pitstopraceparts.com. Pitstopraceparts.com. For all you that's been asking where you can get this liquid nitro, well, you can order it right there online, and they are offering free shipping. Pitstopraceparts.com to get you some liquid nitro. Big shout out to 6bapparel.com, Infinity Shocks, shellshockpaint.com, Finer Detail Graphics, racersedgesupplements.com, and yes, I'm still losing weight. RichForemanPhotos.com. Rich, thank you for everything you do for the show, buddy. I really appreciate it. And as always, the Performance Motorsports Network, Scorpion Radio Group, all the other cool shows there. Catch us on Wednesdays at 1 p.m., Thursdays at 8 a.m., Fridays at 2, Saturdays at 9 p.m., Sundays at 8 a.m., all times Eastern. And, of course, you can catch it, all the archived shows, if you can't catch the PMN airings, at www.USACUnleashedRadioshow.com. And I believe this is another show in the can, Mr. Steele.
USAC Unleashed is a copyrighted production of Performance Motorsports Network.com, a member of the Scorpion Radio Group, Inc., and may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit written permission of PMN. Check out our Facebook page, USAC Unleashed Radio Show, or our section on the PMN website. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of the management and ownership of either PMN or Scorpion Radio Group, Inc. Be listening next week as we rev it up with USAC Unleashed, exclusively on the Performance Motorsports Network.